What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. Last night, thanks to the folks at Sony Pictures, I got to see Venom The Last Dance at a special advanced screening in Boston, Massachusetts, and I have to say I am very surprised at how much I enjoyed that movie. And I promise you, I'm going to do my best to avoid spoilers, and I'm going to do my best to give you my honest opinion. This is definitely not influenced by the fact that they let me go watch the movie early. I liked the first two Venom movies. I think the first one was better than the second. They kind of went a little wacky with the second one and Carnage. It was okay. But these are like, I don't know, 6 out of 10 movies. They're fine. You know, they are what they are. The Sony movies are always kind of hit or miss, with a lot more miss than hit. But this one did it for me. Like, I felt like everything about the movie was done as well as you can with what they've established for Venom. I thought the Tom Hardy was great. I think he did a good job. You've got Venom and Eddie Brock kind of doing their comedic thing back and forth, and Eddie is constantly a little shell-shocked, and I think that could have been cheesy. I thought in the trailers, you see the venomized horse and all that stuff. It looked like it could be cheesy, but it actually worked. It was just the right amount of everything. It was the right amount of serious. It was the right amount of sappy. It was the right amount of cheesy, and it was the right amount of funny. And it honestly paced itself very well. It was a musical at times. Didn't think we'd have another superhero musical this year, but so far both Agatha All Along and Venom The Last Dance have done it better than Joker Toilet. I don't know how you actually say it, but I think that was Joker to the Toilet, but whatever. I haven't seen that movie, but like, it looks terrible and the reviews are terrible, and I'll see it eventually. But this one, though, this is what comic book movies, like, at their core should be. Just fun popcorn movies. All right, I'm not looking for Shakespeare. I'm not like looking for The Irishman. I'm not looking for anything that's going to like reinvent the wheel. They did not reinvent the wheel here. It had some great action sequences. It had some really cool visual effects. And it was a movie that, like, I felt like the pace was really good. About an hour and a half long, maybe a little bit over an hour and a half. And there was not a single point in time where I felt like there was a lull. A lot of these superhero movies, I feel like they have a little bit of a lull. And this one, I felt like paced itself well and gave me exactly what I wanted. It just a nice ending to this trilogy where we can move on and hopefully let Marvel, the MCU, take over Venom and give us what Venom is supposed to be. All right, I don't have a problem with the way that Tom Hardy's Venom turned out. It was a Lethal Protector storyline. It was not Venom. It was Venom the anti-hero. It was not Venom, the Spider-Man villain. It was Venom, the conflicted. It was Tom Hardy, it was Eddie Brock trying to do better, trying to be a good guy, trying to keep this alien menace in check. But yeah, man, I think they did a really good job with it. Obviously you should know at this point that Knull is involved with the movie, and that worried me. I'm going to be honest. I was a little worried about how they were going to incorporate Knull, because I know most of these, writers and directors of these Hollywood flicks do not care whatsoever about, the actual Marvel stories and what made these characters matter. But I feel like the way they handled Knull in this movie was perfect, because the King in Black storyline involved a lot of the Marvel Universe. It wasn't just Venom versus Knull, even though that was kind of a central point of it all. It was Thor, it was Silver Surfer, it was the Avengers, it was everybody was involved. But I don't think you have a showdown between Venom and Knull without specifically Thor and the Silver Surfer. So, and if you've read that story, you understand why. I don't just say that because I love Thor. I really don't have a big attachment to Silver Surfer, but I'm not going to spoil that story. It's a really good story to read. If you haven't yet, I definitely would recommend it. But I don't know how you really do that without them. And fortunately, we don't have to know how they're going to do that with the movie, which isn't really a spoiler, but I do feel like there are going to be some people that might have expected more out of Knull, but I actually feel like what they did was perfect. It makes sense, and it's crazy to me the way they were able to do this movie where the star was Venom and Eddie Brock, and those are the two central figures, and everything else that happens around it is not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily matter. Like, you're focused on what's happening for Eddie and what's happening for Venom, and you're not worried about who the bad guy is. You're not worried about who's that. It doesn't matter. You may have seen that Fortnite is getting a She-Venom and an Agony skin, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't they do like Anti-Venom and Scream, two very much more popular characters in the symbiote verse, if you will? But I think you'll understand. It's not like they could have still done other characters, but it makes sense, and it didn't feel forced either. I don't think. I think a lot of stuff just worked, and maybe other people will watch it and disagree, but for me, going through it, I just felt like the focus was on Eddie and Venom, and everything else that happened around it was complementary. And I really feel like this is the type of movie that you can go see, just turn your brain off a little bit, and just enjoy it for what it is. If you liked the first or second Venom movie even a little bit, I think you're going to enjoy this, because this is definitely the best of the three. I'm not saying this is like some 9 or 10 out of 10 movie. It's not. It's got issues, but I do feel like there are certain action flicks where you just turn your brain off a little bit and just enjoy it for what it is. And as a Marvel purist, like a comic purist, that's tough for me sometimes. But even that, I felt like they did a good job. I felt like this is pretty balanced. I felt like it was fun. And that's what it's all about. There was a couple moments. There's a moment with a guy in a tuxedo that you're going to see that was hilarious and came out of nowhere. So yeah, man, I hope that people go see this movie and it does well. I think it's worth seeing in the theater. And if not, just wait for it to come out on DVD, Blu-ray. Pick up that Steelbook. But I would say it's a solid 7 out of 10 movie. I don't remember what I gave the first two movies. I don't do a lot of movie reviews anyway. I don't like giving numbers because I feel like they're just constantly changing, but I feel like this is a 7 out of 10, you know what I mean? I feel like the first Venom is about a 6.4, and the second Venom is about a 5.9, and for me 5 is average. Okay, I don't think of 5 out of 10 as being awful. I think it's the middle. It's just okay, but in any event, Venom The Last Dance is in theaters on the 25th. Thursday the 24th, tomorrow, is preview night, so there are some select showings in some places, but I think you should see it. And I thank Sony Pictures again for giving me the opportunity to watch it early. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like it, maybe I'll do some more in the future, but yeah, I saw it, I liked it, hope you do too. Peace.